Okay, hello friends and beautiful people of the internet. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time ever meeting me, hello, it's a pleasure to grace your presence. Today's video is a short one. It's kind of like a diary entry, kind of a rant sort of thing. And this video is about my opinions on love in the modern age, in the digital age, in the internet age. And I guess my observations of what I've seen in relationships and more or less just my opinions on my perception of love now as a young person in the modern age and how I think that relationships have fundamentally changed over the past few decades, I guess. Now, originally I was planning on filming this video outside, sitting here at this park, but unfortunately it is raining, hence why my hair is a little bit messed up. I got rained on. Oh yeah, it is Valentine's Day as well, so I thought this would be a fitting time to, I guess, give my opinions on this, because it's something I wouldn't say that I feel necessarily super strongly about, but it is something that I have opinions of, as everyone does, of course. But yeah, it is Valentine's Day. I bought myself a little Valentine's present. This is a new tripod, so I'm hoping to buy a proper 4K cinematic camera to film some short films and stuff. But I don't really have a lot of equipment to go with that. Like, I don't even own a tripod. I own a gimbal and stuff, but I don't own a tripod. So I thought, fuck it, you know, no one's gonna buy me a Valentine's gift, and I should show myself the love that I would show a person, you know, like my partner or something. Like, so I have acted upon that self-love and bought myself a tripod. So I'm very excited to open that and play with that. Yeah. Love, huh? You know, it's one of the strongest emotions that we as humans can feel, and it is, in my opinion, the most important thing in our lives. And I don't necessarily just mean romantic love, like love for a partner, etc. I mean more so just love as a general thing. Love for your family, love for the environment, love for your future, love for yourself. Just love in general, I think, is the most important emotion, and I would argue is the entire reason for our existence. I'm not a religious person, and I guess if you are religious, you'll have different opinions about what life means and what life is. But I think a lot of religions also echo that love is the most integral facet of our existence. You know, I know that the Bible speaks a lot about loving thy neighbor and that sort of thing, and I think that it's true. Our ability to show love to random people, to our families, to our partners, to ourselves, is our greatest skill. It is an insane feeling. Everyone who's watching this would have felt it. Being in love or being loved is one of the most intense emotional and biological feelings that you can have. It's insane, the grip that it has on us. And I guess this video is more targeted at my opinions on romantic love, but I guess I just wanted to preface it with that I am a big advocate for love, which sounds cringe, but I don't know how else to word it. Like, I love loving people, I love being in love, and I think that it is super important. So because of that, oh yeah, obviously, I guess not obviously, but today is, you can see, today is Valentine's Day. And so I decided to go run some errands myself and take myself on like a solo date sort of thing, because I don't know, I woke up this morning and I was not feeling very good. I was feeling pretty empty, pretty tired, just pretty overall depressed. So I was like, fuck it. If nothing changes, nothing changes. I'm not going to feel any better unless I do something about it. So I left the house. I did buy myself a Valentine's gift to myself, from myself. It feels good. You know, as I spoke in my previous video, I just left a 2-year-long relationship. So it's, again, I'm still getting used to transferring the love that I would give to another person into loving myself. And that's been a difficult transition, but yeah, I guess you have to reflect the love that you would want to receive, or the love that you would want to give to yourself. And I think that that has made me feel, that's been a major part of me healing from that, and me learning how to navigate my life without being in a relationship. And yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Now, I have opinions about love, as everyone does. And I guess this is my personal video diary, so I can share it whenever I want. But I just finished reading this book, which is Nobody's Girl, the memoir of Virginia Giuffre. If you don't know who Virginia Giuffre is, she's probably the most vocal Epstein victim. She was one of the people who was trafficked to Prince Andrew. It was a pretty intense book. I cried a lot whilst reading it. But one of the things that really stood out to me in this book And a quote, I guess, which really resonated was not necessarily, it wasn't from Virginia, it was from someone else. I can't remember who, but she said it in the deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell. And I'll put the quote right here because I know that I'm not going to get it word for word, but it was basically akin to, how can I be expected to navigate a healthy relationship with a broken compass? And that really stood out to me because I think that that's something that a lot of people are going through, especially people my age. We don't really know what a healthy relationship is meant to look like. And I think that the internet has almost broken our compasses of what is real love, what is genuine love, the genuine expectations for ourselves and for others. So I did write some things down on my phone, so sorry if I'm going to be looking down here, but I didn't want this to just be a rant. I wanted to have some actual things that I wanted to speak about because this is something that I feel strongly about, and I don't just want to blab on for 20 minutes about something like nonsensical. Like, I wanted to at least have some substance. So, yeah. So one thing which I've noticed a lot in relationships that I've seen with other people, but as well as things online, is that I think that a lot of people view love as a transactional thing. And I believe that this transactional lens of looking at love comes from a place of capitalist programming. You know, it's our mindset of, oh, I have to do this to get this. You know, it's that translation of labor into money, into currency. It's, if I do this, I get this. And if I don't do this, I don't get this. And I think that, yeah, that's a pretty common sentiment now. I see a lot of discourse online about, oh, yeah, I'm a provider, or, oh, what do you bring to the table? And I think a lot of people view love as something that they are entitled to and something that they can get from someone else, rather than, in my opinion, love should be about what you can give to other people. And I'm not saying that you should stay in relationships where you're constantly giving and putting in effort and the other person isn't doing that, because that's not healthy, and that kind of self-sacrifice defeats the purpose of love. But I think a lot of people have a mindset of love being transactional, and they get upset when their idea of what they deserve from said transaction doesn't come to fruition. And I think that that's really a problem of capitalism, number one, and the internet, number two. And I don't know, this might just be because I'm young, and a lot of the relationships that I see and have been in are obviously from people like myself who are inexperienced. You know, I'm still learning. I don't even know who I am myself fully, so it's difficult for me to know how to love, I suppose. But I think there is a lot of negative things online, and I think a lot of people get their opinions swayed about what's normal in a relationship and what should be expected from terrible advice online. There's terrible advice from people like, if your man does these things, he's a red flag, or 5 signs that your girl is unfaithful, or, you know, like, just that sort of bullshit. And people get that in their heads. They're exposed to it a lot. And I think as much as we try not to, that we do internalize the things we see online. That's why propaganda works. If we're constantly bombarded with messages of, this is what love's meant to be, this is how it looks, this is how you're meant to behave, it's going to affect you at some point. No one is immune to propaganda. People see things online about their partners, you know, buying extravagant gifts or buying them cars, or these completely unattainable things. And as much as we try to be realistic and we see, okay, well, this is obviously for show, this is for the internet, we're seeing the highlight reel of someone else's life and comparing it to the mundanity of our normal life, it still gets to us. It still gets there. If we're constantly bombarded with these messages, it's still there, I feel. Which is interesting, and it's difficult. Love is seen as more focused on that emotional feeling that, oh my God, I'm so in love with this person, rather than love as being understanding. I think that is the real root of love, especially romantic love, is care and understanding. There's going to be points in your relationship where you might not feel that intense, burning passion, but the love should exist beyond that biological and emotional feeling. The love should be your compassion, your understanding, you know, your trust and your connection with said person. I think that is love. That ability to see someone in all of their flaws and all of their parts and accept them and still be there for them. That is love. And I think that that has kind of been lost I think. I think a lot of people are there for the emotional high. And when that wears off, as it does in relationships, people become unhappy, which is normal, of course. That's a historical thing, I'm sure, for thousands of years. But it scares me a little bit. I don't know. And another thing which I think has also fundamentally changed the nature of romantic relationships is COVID, as weird as it is to say. Like, during that period of COVID, especially for people my age, this is like, your youth, and you're learning to be yourself, and you're learning connections, and you're learning how socializing works. A lot of people had those formative experiences online with people through texts and FaceTime and group chats and Discord and whatever the fuck. And I think we've almost become disconnected from the human compassion of relationships. Things are so commodified, just like we see in all facets of society. Things are so commodified and commercialized. You see with Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day. I think Valentine's Day is a beautiful holiday. I think a whole holiday to focus on love, loving your partner, loving your family, loving yourself is gorgeous, but it's been bastardized by capitalism and turned into a commercialization thing where people feel bad if their partner doesn't, if they don't do something extravagant, if they don't buy them that $200 bouquet, or they don't buy them X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I guess that's the overarching point that I wanted to get across. Maybe this has sort of come across as a bit of a ramble, but I do genuinely think that our capitalist system has fundamentally changed the nature of relationships. And that's not without saying there aren't people who are in relationships who express their love in different ways. And there are obviously people in healthy and happy relationships. I'm not trying to say that the entirety of love is broken, or that all relationships are fundamentally flawed and have been changed. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that I can see it in a lot of people, that I really think that the capitalist mentality and system has ingrained itself in love. I think that love has, like I said, turned into a transactional nature where it's the conversion of capital into love. It's the purchasing of that feeling. I mean, obviously I have hope, and I hold myself and my relationships and the way that I love in a different light. And I'm sure that there's millions of people who do the same thing. But I'm worried that it's going to become the norm. And I'm curious to see how relationships are going to look in the Generation Alpha, the people who are coming, after me. And those people have been online since birth. And they have been fed, crazy shit from TikTok influencers and YouTube influencers and streamers. And I think that has fundamentally changed everyone's opinion on love and relationships, especially in that younger generation. But yeah, I don't know. That's the end of my rant. I'm obviously a pro-love person, and I still have hope and faith for love. And I think that love will prevail in the end. And I think in order for us to win and to reach fulfillment and to achieve true unconditional love, we need to detach ourselves from the idea of love that we've been fed. And I think that that's really important. And I would encourage everyone who's watching this video to consider their relationship with love and their relationship with themselves, their partners, their families, and just take a second to take a step back from the expectations of love and to just feel and care and be compassionate, because I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, that's the end of this video. If you stuck around, thank you for listening to me rant, and I would love to hear your opinions. Obviously, I am not an expert. This is just my opinion, and I would love to hear everyone else's opinions. I'm sure not everyone's going to agree with this video, and that's okay. This channel exists as my own personal video diary. And it's my own personal opinions, and I would love to hear the discourse of what other people are feeling in the comments if that's something you're open to. And if not, curse and scream at your computer and call me an idiot all you want. I don't mind. But yeah, take care of yourselves, everyone who's watching this video. I love you. It is Valentine's Day, so tell yourself that you love you, tell your partner that you love them, tell your family that you love them, and love yourself how you would want someone to love you. Peace.